Chelsea have some major issues this season and need to address them sooner than later, or otherwise Chelsea could be repeating last season. In today's video, we will highlight the flaws that Chelsea are currently having and how their match versus Nottingham Forest is showing them major problems. So first, let's look at the lineup, which is a good starting point that Pochettino may need to start being flexible on.
Now, the formation that Pochettino went with here was a 4-3-2-1, but you could argue that this actually did turn into pretty much a 3-3-3-1, because what was happening again, which we've seen time and time again, is that Gallagher moves up, Conceição moves here, and Gusto moves here, and we actually space out our CBs. So therefore, again, we are getting this 3-3-3. And while this works out on paper, it has not been working out on the pitch. And for some reason, we keep sticking with this. And one of the problems is Colwell. And it's not because he's a bad player. It's because we are having this left side be more defensively, which then causes us to actually be more attacking on the right side. So typically, our ball possession goes off into the right side over this way, playing to Gallagher, Fernandez, even Gusto. So again, these players themselves with the ball is really going to overload that side. So again, as we play more and more this way, we see our shifting here. If you look at this photo here, you are seeing that. Again, this is something we've been seeing time and time again, and the reason why is because our left side is not creative. Now, granted, Sterling was on that side this time, and when he did have the ball, he was creative, but a lot of the chances did come on the right side when we did overload that right side, and he did play a lot of great balls. We will talk about that in just a second, but again, going back to this formation here, and we're looking at this, the problem with this is that when we move up and start attacking, which again is a great thing, we leave our back very vulnerable, especially with Thiago Silva. And what happens is we create these massive gaps on the outsides and right down the middle, which is what led to Nottingham Forest's goal. And we will talk about that in just a brief second. But because of this, this has been the issue for Chelsea, because when we play teams that play in the low block, where they have their lines here and here, we cannot break those with these players that are playing right now, which is quite a bit of a shame, because with Chelsea spending so much money, you expect us to be able to do that, but we have been struggling. Now let's talk about the goal that they scored.
Now, the goal versus Nottingham Forest score really came from a few different mistakes, along with Forest capitalizing on their only chance, or one of their only chances, this match. The first part came from a poor touch from Conceição, which turned the possession over to Nottingham Forest. The second part came from Thiago Silva. Again, he had to push up after the turnover of possession, but it left a massive gap for Alanga to run into space. Colwell couldn't keep pace, and finally Sanchez was arguably too slow to come out and stop the shot. Once Forest found themselves a goal ahead, Steve Cooper was able to drop back in the low block once again, which has been a problem for Chelsea to break down, not just in this game, but we saw it with West Ham as well. Now, Chelsea had their chances to get level, but Jackson was unable to convert his opportunities, and this saw Chelsea never find the back of the net. This is another problem for Chelsea. While Jackson was a great position, he missed countless chances, and there wasn't anyone Pochettino could bring on to switch him out. With multiple injuries, such as Nkunku and Broja, and other players that are loaned out, Chelsea are heavily reliant on Jackson as their only number 9. Lastly, which was stated earlier, in the fact that Chelsea are heavily reliant on the right side to create chances. Because of this, two things stand out. First, teams know how to defend against it by overloading their left side in defense, which again creates massive gaps for Chelsea on their left side. Secondly, because of this, Pochettino then has to compensate with Chilwell and Colwell both on that left side, which is two defenders, as Chilwell will play as the left wing, but quickly changing from the other opponents if they move the ball to Chelsea's left side. This creates massive issues, because then they can overload them as well and have players out of position, such as Colwell, which did again lead to the goal in this Nottingham Forest game. Overall, Chelsea have a few issues that they need to figure out sooner or later, or Chelsea, well, like I said, will have a repeat of last season. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe for more content like this.